I thought it was important that we sort of explain what we're actually doing, so now you understand what Gaikai really is, what it's doing, and what's really happening. We started off by asking the publishers, when someone doesn't click your buy button, can we have a go at them? Because when 95% of the people don't click it, so wouldn't it be cool if we could engage those players and do something with them? So they said, how are you going to do that? And what we did is we had surveyed 20,000 gamers, and we asked them the most important question: what influences you most to make the decision to buy a game? And the number one result is always game demo. I want to play the game. Can I try the game, please? And yet, most of the money in the video game industry is spent down here on TV commercials and static banner ads and things like that. And if you look at any data, this is from a company called Magid. And they asked a completely different question: where do gamers want advertising money spent? And the number one choice is game demos, and the number two choice, pretty funnily, is in-store game demos. So it's like, please just let me play. And knowing this, the companies must make it really easy to try their games, right? And the answer is, well, no. So I asked one of my guys, could you just install World of Warcraft and just record it so we can see what it's like to install? It's such a big title in the games business. And you can see it's actually surprisingly painful as he goes through the process. Like every single person that plays, there's a legal agreement, every single person that plays World of Warcraft is having to go through a whole bunch of pain just to get in there. And yet, if we want to have the maximum reach possible, how could we possibly make this easier? So I asked Blizzard, why is it so difficult? This is legal agreement number 2. And they said to me, you know, what are you talking about? This is the new version. This is like way better than it used to be. And it is way better than it used to be, but it's still, it takes ages. Like, I just want to check your game out, man, and it's taking ages. And I got to go through this firewall. They have a play button that you can't click. Gray. And it's initializing, so we're still waiting for X to start downloading the game. Come along, you can do it. There we go, 9 gigabytes to download, and then you'll see 40 minutes on the clock. And after 40 minutes, he's got the play button lit up, so he clicks on that. Legal agreement number 3, which you have to scroll all the way through, and legal agreement number 4. It's just, the point is, it's not putting the gamer first, right? It's like I gotta do all this stuff, but it's not putting the gamer's time first. And friction guarantees you're gonna lose customers. And the thing you gotta remember about the gamers is they're the ones that want to be entertained. So, but the worst thing you can do to someone that wants to be entertained is to bore them. So we love to point out to them that gamers bore really easily. And 34.9% will just type garbage into those forms anyway, so it's not like they're giving you really good data. And then 31.6% will just skip your entire product. When they see there's going to be pain involved, they just move on. That is unacceptable. So the core problem is moving data around, and even if it's a small amount of data, like 1 gigabyte, that's actually a real pain just to move 1 gigabyte around. And yet games are now taking as much as Star Wars is up at 28 gigabytes. And games are going to keep getting bigger, so the bigger they get, the more this delay while we move data around is going to get worse. So instant is only really possible from the cloud because it's the only way to get a game running without actually moving data from somewhere to somewhere else. And to do that, we had to make a new kind of server. Intel invested into us, Qualcomm invested into us, and NVIDIA. You'll see them on the corridor out there. They're demonstrating Gaikai running using their latest hardware. And we're now live in 88 countries around the world. You can see our data centers are the little white flags, and it's the fastest network of its kind. So what would it look like if you were to actually remove all of the pain, like just take it all away? What would that look like? And here's an example. Oops, let me go back one. Freaked as I tapped it twice. There we go. 1 finger to look around, 2 fingers to run, and 3rd finger to jump. So, you know, you can take a big title like World of Warcraft and just try it out on your iPad without having to go through any of that. Oh my goodness, this is going to take a long time. And this is including 3 expansion packs. So, you know, normally, if you were to install all of that on your iPad, that would just take forever. And that's why this is kind of cool, because if you had another MMO that you wanted to check out, you can check them out literally one at a time really quickly. So this is the right time because there was 1,068 PC games launched in 2011. And I saw this image and I was like, my God, the chainsaw business is totally screwed now because they're all starting to look the same. And for you to, as a consumer, to decide which of the chainsaws to buy, at this point you have to start reading all the small print to try to work it out. And I kind of thought to myself, wouldn't it suck if games, if this ever happened to the games business? Coming out of E3, last year the press started saying that they were finding it hard to tell one first-person shooter from another. And as the genres get more and more mature, it's only going to get harder. And so wouldn't it be cool if you could just see this one and say, hey, this looks pretty cool, and click on it, or this one and click on it, and just hop into the game and experience it? You would stand a much better chance of discovering which is the best game for you. And every genre is now this way. So every genre is flooded with different games. And so to find the best one, cloud gaming is a great way to do it. So the gamers are clear, they want a quick taste. But what we do to them is we make them plan their day around the move of data. So they come home from work, and they say, okay, I'm going to start the download now, and then I'm going to go have my dinner, and after dinner, then I'll be able to play the game. Or, you know what, I'm going to do, on my PlayStation tonight, I'm going to download 5 games, and then I'm going to go to bed, and then when I come back tomorrow, I'll be able to play these games. And they start planning around that move of data. So we've got a technology that most people aren't aware of. It's called, it's simply called cloud delivery, but it's a little more complicated than that. We're actually working on a tech which will take games and deliver them really, really fast locally. This is not cloud gaming, this is cloud delivery. And what it looks like is that we have a page on our website. If you click Start Download, it actually opens up a web page. There's no Steam to install, there's no application to install. It's actually installing directly from the web page into your computer, and it's like it's the lowest friction way we can think of getting games running on a computer. So I'll give you an example. Let me just skip forward. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. So you can see we can have the developer talking about the game or telling you, hey, whenever the game starts, you want to go and do this or that. In the meantime, you can see the countdown. There's 11 seconds to go. And it is by far the fastest download in existence and the lowest friction, because you'll see in a moment there's a button. I click on that button. That's the second click. And in 2 clicks, you're now able to jump right into the game locally. So that is now the lowest friction, fastest possible way to deliver games. We call it non-linear, asynchronous, progressive, crowdsourced, proximity accelerated file delivery, or NALA something for short. Yep.
When you're playing that right there, when you play, are you playing it through the cloud, or are you
running locally on the computer?
Okay.
So the surprise is that you can actually get it to fully install the entire product ready to run, and then launch it from a web page without having to go through. You know, you normally get an exe file and you save it, and you got maybe it's a downloader, and then you have to go through next. All of that's gone.
So it installs it and downloads all together.
Yeah, it's installed on your computer as if you did the full install. So cloud gaming is play now, which means that you can then take games like Crysis 2 and play it in your office. So you don't even need you don't need any 3D capability at all on your computer, and yet you can get beautiful graphics like Crysis 2 just running on whatever computer you're on. And cloud gaming is clearly our most important thing, because you're able to play in under a minute, whereas cloud delivery takes around 5 minutes. It's a lot faster than normal, but it's still, you have to wait, and that's why we show you videos. But traditional downloading, it can take 40 minutes plus, depending on the size of the game. So this is the internet. This is the way to... there's lots of people out there on the internet doing stuff, and this is the way the game publishers think about them, is that if we could just get people off the internet to come to our website, then we can convert them, and we're willing to pay for somebody to send all of that traffic to us. And this is where the game industry is going, into this cycle of buying traffic and then giving them or getting them to try to convert. And because there's so much pain today in trying to get games running, that this becomes a very expensive cycle, and a lot of publishers, I think, are going to have a heck of a time as the industry goes digital, surviving in this purchasing players loop. And so our proposal is, this is going to really hurt, so stop doing this, instead take your game and put it on all of the websites. So anywhere that people are talking about games, like you're reviewing games or you're reporting on games, or retailer sites, the game should be right there ready to play, which means you don't need to move people around anymore. And the more that we don't move people around, the more economical the whole solution becomes. So the point is move the games to the gamer. So overall for our strategy, the thing you'll see on our website is, could the best video games become as instantly accessible as movies and music? And this is driven by I get really annoyed when I see a new TV come out and I see a Netflix icon and a Pandora icon and nothing for games, like nothing for the really cool games from the game industry. And so we've really set out on a mission to try to change that. Our plan was to make it so that all of the devices will be able to play the best games our industry can make. And the way we do it, I'll show you really quick. So we want to be able to go on all websites, all devices, getting rid of all the friction, letting the gamers play for free. You'll notice everything on our website, we've convinced the publishers to let people play for free and then buy only if they love it. That's super compatible with gamers, right? Only pay for the stuff that you think is awesome, and then share it easily. They can tweet links out and their friends can play immediately. They don't have to go to some publisher's website and find the game. They just click and the game starts. And this is due to the automatic time demo. So with Darkness 2, we managed to get it out before it hit the shelves. So it went off to be manufactured, and we put it on the cloud immediately. So you can actually get to play the game before release using this tech. And we focus very much on the quality of the games and the experience, and that's why we're drawing in the TV makers. But progress-wise, we signed Walmart, so the only way to put games on Walmart is through us. We have a special area on Walmart.com in Game Center. And Best Buy, you'll see now peppered around their site, you can play instant demos of the games. And EA built us into EA.com and also their Origin strategy. And Ubisoft is now building us into the Ubishop. But we've signed almost 40 publishers now that are all at some stage of building Gaikai into their sites. And then YouTube was a big one for us because YouTube, this is actually running on YouTube's website, so that the only way you can put big games on YouTube is through us. And we did a test with FIFA Soccer, and it turned out that the average play time was around 720 seconds, so it was really engaging. For one click, you were getting 12 minutes of entertainment out of it, versus normally when the average on video is around 15 seconds. So games are, in a weird way, have given us the most engaging form of advertising in the world by using this tech. So platforms-wise, you've seen Apple and Facebook. They are, without question, I thought the first games on the Apple phones and the first games on Facebook were really weak. But over time, I would think you would agree, Apple and Facebook are taking games very seriously now. They're very, very important on their platform. And so that's really our point, is take games very seriously. If you have a platform, they're going to become the most dominant thing on there. And that's what's happened. They also, at Apple, they focused on making it easier to play the games. So they ended up getting 1 billion downloads in just 9 months. Whereas you could play games before they came along, but they just made it a lot easier. And games are the #1 category on their device, but it's not just a US thing, it's across all the territories in the world. And so now when we talk to device makers or platform makers, like the TV guys, I say to them, how much money does Microsoft make when they play games on your televisions? And the answer is, well, Microsoft makes billions. So how much do you guys make when Microsoft plays games on your TVs? And the answer is nothing. And so the question is, why should they get to have all the fun? Recently, Xfinity announced that this is Comcast's Xfinity, it's being added to the Xbox. And I actually had a slightly different reaction, which is why would they put Xfinity on the Xbox? Why wouldn't they put video games onto Comcast? Why not take the games and take them the other way and start to participate in this stuff? The biggest entertainment launch in history was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It made $400 million in 24 hours. And so the point here is that all of these different TV makers and set-top box makers and media hub companies, nobody participated in the biggest entertainment launch in history, and nor will they in any of the future biggest entertainment launch in histories from the game industry, unless they start to participate. And so the point is, hardly any of them did, but they support the movie industry, so they all support, you can watch Avatar across all devices. all the tablets, all the set-top boxes, but not video games. So we say to them very clearly, games, once you decide to embrace them, don't start with the lame stuff. Like, don't start with the chopping fruit and things like that. Focus on FIFA soccer and the stuff that really the industry buys a lot of, and then you can start to really participate. And so that's what the big announcement for the show was, that the biggest consumer electronics company in the world, Samsung, and Ethan back here is from Samsung, they have decided to enter the game space now. And effectively, if you think about it, there's Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Now there's Samsung as well, and the timing is perfect because all the consoles are about to reset, so they're all going to go, their audience will go back to zero as they move to the next generation. And so for Samsung to enter at this very moment is perfect timing. Another place that we wanted to focus on was Facebook. So we put our tech in there, and this is, you can go to Facebook today and play, here's Dead Rising 2 for example. You just click on the game and it starts running in the Canvas page. And so to be able to play games like Dead Rising 2 in Facebook is something that's really shocking to the gamers because they're not expecting it. They think that they think it's a video or something like that, and then they realize, you see them tweeting about it, what is this? How is, you could actually play the game, and that's the surprise. And so we're going to be offering full game saves soon for this, so you can continue playing, and we have that already for the TVs. By the way, do you want to show us a quick demo on the TV? That would be really great. Before I can. So this is actually running on the TV, and one thing that's cool is that the TV, you can see it's fully working. You can totally play these games now. We're way ahead of schedule. Meaning when we were planning to launch this next year at E3 2013, but because it's fully playable, we're actually going to unlock icons across the TVs in the United States over the next month. So shortly after E3, we're going to start inviting people into our beta, and we're going to send them free controllers in the mail. This is a wired controller. We're going to send them a wireless controller, and so the system is completely compatible with any USB controller, which is cool. So you can choose whichever one you like. You can play with your Xbox controller if you like, and we're going to collect data and keep serving the people. And once they're happy, then they're going to unlock it across all the TVs in the US. But these are 2012 7000 series Samsung TVs, the smart TVs, and upwards. That's what we'll work with. Thank you, Mike.
You're not going to work with 6000?
What's that?
Not the 6000 series?
6000, 7000. You have 6000?
I think this one just came out.
Yeah. So
it's the 7000 and up, and those are the ones that have the dual core processor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works really
That's
well.
sad.
You can see the performance is really good on this TV.
Can't play it.
So, wait, do you have your Samsung TV? Or?
No. Too much money.
No, you know what you want for your birthday. Remember, I don't know if you remember, when Samsung once gave away a lot of HD TVs at GDC. Just so you know. Yeah. We liked that. That was really cool. Gaikai advertising is basically how we positioned ourselves. Originally, you could pay, the publishers could pay for any combination of getting the stuff running on their websites. But the disruptive part was that they keep all of their customers, all their revenue, all their future sales. So that's the way Gaikai works, is we're the provider of this technology, and it's really up to the publishers to take advantage of that, and up to the television makers to take advantage of it. And some of the publishers, currently, when somebody tries to buy something digitally from them, they go, oh, we don't do digital, and they send them somewhere else to go buy it digitally. And I'm like, you've got to keep your customers if you're going to go digital going forward, because if you don't go digital, by the way, you're going to have a big problem in the future of the games business. So you need to start building up a consumer database of people who buy digitally and have a relationship with them. And the game industry, if you go to the GDC, they're all talking about data now and analytics. This is an example of when you have a graphic versus text, and we ended up getting 92% more clicks on the text, would you believe? And this is what the data side of the game industry is going to become, is trying to understand what people do and why, and so you can double the revenue of your game simply by making the right decisions on some of this stuff, and you can use data to work it out. So we present a lot of data to the publishers so they can understand how people are interacting with their games. And just to help understand the concept here of our cloud is open. It's an open platform, which means that any company that chooses, and these are just some example companies, any company could just say, hey, we'd like to take a piece of that cloud, because then they can have dedicated gamers using it 24/7, meaning there will always be servers every day waiting for Samsung. So Samsung is actually one of the companies that's bought a piece of the cloud, and it means that they're guaranteed that their gamers will always have service. And they end up using their own payment solutions, and they can brand it their own way, etc. So in the future, wow, something got loud out there. Sure, the game visuals, I think, are going to because we're going to put multiple video cards per game, the game visuals are going to get to a point where you really don't want to have to buy all the hardware yourself. You know, literally, you're going to see games that you're going to go, I want to play that version of it because it's going to be all maxed out. And 4G is also rolling out now across the country, and so 4G works great with this kind of tech too. So you should try it sometime. I don't know if you have 4G, but when you get one, try it. You should be able to play. I play Crisis at San Jose Airport. It's awesome. And then tablets. Do you have a tablet here, buddy? Okay. I'll just show you. This is where we're at with tablets now. This is our next thing. We've been waiting until tablets get 60 frames per second, and we're there now. So all the new tablets they're getting made, the quality of the chips are good enough to give us really high performance. So you'll be able to play state-of-the-art games on the go. And one of the announcements that we made recently was WikiPad. This is an actual gaming tablet. So it's an Android tablet, but with game controls. And the surprise is that screen is stereo 3D. So this will be out. You're going to see it in all the stores at Christmas. But stereo 3D with the game controller, with cloud games on it is a pretty awesome. It's like a portable console to some extent. So anyway, going back to my original thing, could the best video games become as instantly accessible as movies and music? I think really the only way you can ever get the super rich experiences across all of these devices is from the cloud, and that's why we're working so hard on doing this. So hopefully that all makes sense. You got a question?
Yes. What about bandwidth?
What about the
bandwidth? The connection.
Oh, the bandwidth that we use? No, the bandwidth, it turns out, the world is streaming more and more and more, if you think about it. So the Netflixes and the Pandores and Spotify's and everything. So as long as we don't peak at a lot more data than everybody else, like if we became a BitTorrent or something, then that would be a big problem. But as long as we ride along with video, I think we're going to be okay. And the reason for that is because you know, some companies have bandwidth caps. The bandwidth cap isn't there to try to stop you streaming. The bandwidth cap is to stop you spiking above the norm. Otherwise, they would, like everyone that streams video, they would have to literally cancel all their accounts, and they're not going to do that. So bandwidth caps generally will rise as there's more demand for data, but it's the people that are using like a lot of data are the ones that are trying to chop off. So I think we'll be okay. Yeah.
I have a quick question. I've tried Gaikai, of course, with several internet connection speeds and everything, and even with the fastest one, I found that there's always a bit of tiny lag, especially in first-person shooters that require...
Where are you based in?
Germany, Munich.
Okay.
And even with first-person shooters, when you have to be very accurate, is there any way that in the future this kind of lag will completely disappear?
Yeah, we have two big surprises. So the first one is, we have 24 data centers now, and anyone talks about cloud gaming, just say, how many data centers do you have? Right? We have by far the most. We have 2 in Germany right now. We do not have Munich yet.
Okay.
We have one in LA, and so we're getting 3 to 5 milliseconds to our LA data center from here. So when we add one in Munich, you will have 3 to 5 milliseconds connection speed. At which point the lag isn't really that big an issue. But the big twist is, this is the bit that surprised all of us, and the surprise that's coming in 2013, is these TVs have more latency in them than actually the network. And as the TV makers, we've been working very closely with Samsung. People don't know they've been in our office for months and months working on this and getting the latency out. But we can see some breakthroughs where we can actually get the latency of the TV from the internet faster than HDMI. And if we get it faster through the internet port than HDMI, it means that consoles will be slower than cloud gaming. And I plan to demonstrate that in 2013, and it's going to cause chaos. If you think about it, it's going to cause chaos.
Are traditional consoles going to completely disappear in the future?
No, I think they're going to add cloud gaming. So I think all consoles will have cloud gaming.
Are you working together with Sony? There was a rumor before E3?
I have systematically keep hitting all 3 of them, saying you really should consider cloud gaming, and I can't see a future where they don't. They have to. It's a given. Thank you. it's just a matter of time. Yeah.
You said any website can put these games in their thing. Are they going to be sort of like embedded where you're still actually, when the user clicks, it goes to stream to you directly, or what is
Exactly.
stored on the website?
So the website just has nothing more than a little piece of code just to say, here's what they just clicked on, please go ahead and launch it.
Okay, and so basically it's not really any complicated. Most websites will be able to add it pretty easily.
Yeah, we have now 40 million monthly uniques from all of our partner sites. We're in lots and lots of gaming sites already, and you know, we went through the initial pain of we found all kinds of problems, and we spent the last year just solving all those problems, and now adding to more and more sites is just painless. Yeah.
Can you just repeat what you mean by in 2013 you will demonstrate that you are better than consoles?
No, I think what we're going to demonstrate is the TVs with modifications of TVs. So this is not current TV, but next generation. Like this is the kind of thing that by working closely with Samsung, we can actually make the responsiveness of gaming better than it is today, even through HDMI. And this is why I love the fact that we're not. It's not like we never talked to Samsung. We're like some company somewhere else just using Gaikai. It's the fact that we're sitting with our engineers having this kind of discussion. It's what nobody expected. So nobody thought that we'd be working with these companies. Nobody thought NVIDIA would really get involved, but they have, and this is why